Next, I'm going to do a vent brush blow dry. Vent brush blow dry is because we use a vent brush. There's different kinds of vent brushes. Some of them have holes through them and they tend to blow dry the hair faster than the ones that are nylon backed. But this is my favorite one to get a nice smooth vent brush blow dry, and it's a Denman. So I've quad sectioned my mannequin and I've wet this 2 sections down here at the back that I'm going to work with. I've added actually a little bit of Liss as well to the hair. Liss is a product we use a lot with the mannequins. It makes the hair smooth and shiny and more manageable. The mannequin hair is not the nicest hair that most of us have, but it's great for learning on. And so how much do you use depends on how much hair you have and how thick it is. So your density, how much hair you have on your head, how thick the hair is in diameter, so how coarse the texture is, and then also how much hair you have in the length. For her, I just added about the size of a small pea for the 2 back sections. And then I emulsified it in my hands, and then I put it through the hair. So I'm going to start off by taking my quad section, and I'm going to drop down a section to be about 2 centimeters length. I want to go on both sides here. You don't want to do one side and then the other side, because then you'll end up with like a bit of a crack in the back of her head that will dry like that. So you've got your section straight down the 2 centimeters. And now I'm going to use my blow dryer. Something to remember with your blow dryer is that you want to make sure, depending on the style and how you do the back, but you want to make sure that this part here is clean and free of debris so it doesn't choke the motor, that the motor can breathe easily. And you always want to make sure that you have a nozzle on your blow dryer because it offers direction and it also offers protection. Before I turn it on, I'm just going to do a little demonstration too so I can talk. What you want to do for a vent brush blow dry is you want to make sure you're trying to get tension on the hair. So when you put the brush in, you want to make sure that you can feel that tension. You want to have the brush underneath and the blow dryer on top. We have a cuticle that overlaps our hair, kind of like a shingles on a roof, but it's clear and transparent. And when we take the direction of the heat and we push it downwards, we're going to make the hair look shinier and it's going to look nicer. So I'm going to turn it on. They have temperatures. This one here has high and low, and then you can move the nozzle towards warm or hot. A lot of times when I am blow drying, I've got my hands right here, so I can feel on my fingers if it's getting too hot as well. So it's a good guide. I like to hold my blow dryer like this as opposed to like this, just because it puts less stress on my shoulder. So it's good ergonomics. The brush and the blow dryer are constantly in movement, right? I'm not just standing there waiting like this. They're constantly in movement, okay? And then the other thing that I want you to notice is this happens a lot, is when people blow dry someone's hair, is that the ends are dry, but the root area is not. And when you look at this here, for an example, you have how much hair here compared to how much hair here. So this is going to take longer to dry than this is. And then also it's like, I don't know if you've ever thrown your jeans in the dryer and you go to pull them out and they're warm and they feel dry, but then when you put them on and you start walking around, you notice that your pockets and stuff are still wet. When hair is warm, it's going to feel like it's dry, but when it cools down, you're actually going to know whether it is. And most blow dryers have a cool shot button right here that you can use to cool the hair down. It's especially good for round brush blow drying, which I'll probably do next. So again, you're taking the hair and you're coming straight down with some tension. I'll usually do the root area a couple swipes before I go to do the ends. Once I have this section dried, we'll pretend the whole section is dry. Then I'm going to drop down my next two sections, going straight across. Everything has a system in hairdressing. There are some people who I think are just naturally good with hair. They just are so talented. When they touch hair, it just does whatever they want it to do. But for everybody else, including myself, there is a system. So there's a way to make hair look good. When you get your next section down, at first you want to try and keep it away from the bottom section, so that you want to try and keep it away and just do that section first. Then once it's dried, you can put it into the whole big section if you need to. But the thing is if I've dried this section here and I comb this section into it, I've re-wet that last section I just finished. So you want to try and keep it apart. Again, brush underneath, blow dryer on top. And when I get to the bottom, when I'm done, I pick the hair up and replace it back into my brush so that it doesn't fall out of my section. Getting some good tension on there so that I'm getting the hair nice and straight, smooth and shiny. So that's a vent brush blow dry. We're going to continue all the way up the back, and then we're going to come up to each side and then the other side, and then we're done.